In the distant ocean, where the eternal fog drives even the bravest sailors crazy, evil and treacherous pirates lived. They were known for their ruthlessness and cruelty, taking away everything they could take with them. Being the real lords of the sea, they forced other ships to pay tribute to them and staged real terror on the water. One day, one of the pirate ships under the command of Captain Blackbeard came across a merchant ship full of precious goods. Quickly intercepting it, the pirates stripped the merchants of everything they had, and did not even spare the lives of men, women, or children. They were so cruel that even among the pirates themselves there were rumors about the madness and malice of their captain. But when everything seemed lost, another ship appeared on the horizon, the ship of the legendary Captain Jack the Ripper. He was known for his bravery, and was not going to let the villains continue their brutality. After leading his team, he began to prepare for the battle with Blackbeard to free the captives and punish the pirates. There was silence as Jack the Ripper's ship approached Blackbeard's ship. The two captains looked at each other through the misty air, their gazes filled with hatred and determination. It was obvious that this battle would be bloody, and victory would cost both sides dearly. As soon as the ships approached each other, a fierce battle began. The air was filled with glittering blades and explosions of cannons, the screams of fighters and the crash of crashing decks. Both ships were fighting for their honor and their lives. Their masts were on fire and their decks were covered in blood. Finally, after many hours of fighting, Jack the Ripper's captain was able to destroy Blackbeard's ship, disabling it and capturing its crew. The pirates were defeated and the prisoners were freed. However, when Jack and his crew searched for loot on Blackbeard's ship, they discovered a secret that left them amazed. There was a hidden map in the hold indicating the location of the legendary treasure, which had been heard about for many years. The treasure was inherited by the treacherous captain along with his cruelty. Now the captain of Jack the Ripper and his team have to make a choice: leave him, to disappear into the depths of sea water, or go in search of this treasure, risking their lives and once again entering into battle with the forces of evil. After careful discussion with the crew, Captain Jack the Ripper decided to go in search of the legendary treasure indicated on the map found on Blackbeard's ship. This choice was unexpected for many members of the team, as the treasure was known as cursed and was considered a curse for anyone who would try to get it. Nevertheless, true adventurers, as well as passionate adventurers, many of the team members were delighted with this prospect, while others were concerned about the possible dangers that could await them. In this unexplored adventure, a stray group of daredevils led by Captain Jack headed for the location of the treasure indicated on the map. The journey was full of dangers, sea storms, pirate attacks, and betrayal among his own crew. They struggled with the commotion, got lost in the fog, and faced the unknown. Finally, they arrived at the island indicated on the map. The island seemed to be covered in mysteries and riddles, but they were ready for anything for the treasure. But what they found on the island is more unexpected and terrifying than they expected: the fruit of audacity and recklessness. They met the curse that often accompanied any attempt to get the treasure and become its owner, on an island that seemed lost in time and filled with mysteries. Jack the Ripper's team encountered a series of strange phenomena. In their quest to find the treasure, they encountered not only physical obstacles, but also frightening riddles and traps that seemed to transcend ordinary reality. The team members began to experience strange visions and hear whispering shadows of the past. Some of them began to lose their minds, unable to separate the real from the ghosts of the past. It seemed that the island was absorbing them alive, playing with their minds and lives. But despite all the dangers and threats, Captain Jack and his faithful companions continued their search, stubbornly believing in their luck and courage. Soon they discovered an abandoned rich estate, which seemed to be the result of someone's greed and madness. Menacing shadows panicked in the house. Strange sounds were heard and stories wandered among the maze of rooms and corridors. When it seemed that everything was lost, the team stumbled upon a legendary treasure that was illuminated by the light of the moonlight. But the curse continued to work, and a couple of team members disappeared instantly as soon as they touched the treasure. Now, standing in front of the treasure, Jack the Ripper's team is faced with the biggest challenge: to decide whether to try to take the treasure in the name of wealth and fame, or leave it on this island and save their souls. Rising to the brink of absolute doom, Captain Jack the Ripper and his accomplices faced the most difficult choice of their lives. Is the treasure really worth the sacrifices they have already made and the risk they still bear? Disagreements and conflicts arose among the team members. Some were eager to get close to the treasure and carry away all the riches, regardless of the consequences, while others were embarrassed by the curse that could be associated with this ancient treasure. At that moment, Captain Jack the Ripper realized that the curse was the source of all the troubles, and that the only way to escape its influence was to leave the treasure, just as the perfect pirate from his childhood would have done. Finally, he read an old entry found in a dusty book describing how the spirit of a former inhabitant of the island caused the curse and the underlying treasure. He knew that it was more important to save his comrades and return back than to be tempted by the wealth that could seal their destinies. Captain Jack the Ripper suddenly made the decision to prefer his principles and dedication to his team over greed and greed. Suddenly, the curse that surrounded the treasure began to dissipate as the captain and his crew left the island. On a wave of emotion and relief, Jack the Ripper and his treacherous pirates unfurled their sails, returned to their ship, and headed home. After returning to his ship, Captain Jack the Ripper and his crew set off in search of new adventures and mysterious riddles. They sailed through storms and sea storms, their hearts filled with the danger and majesty of the sea. However, suddenly, an old ship appeared on the horizon, which seemed lost in time. This ship, as scared and saddened as its crew, was sent from the forgotten depths of the Bermuda Triangle. His team was horrified and told Jack the Ripper about the strange phenomena that were happening on this island. They claimed to have seen ghosts and heard sounds that seemed to be only a work of fantasy. This story revived the heightened sense of curiosity of the captain and his team. They decided to go to the Bermuda Triangle to explore this mysterious island and uncover its secrets. While they were floating in the fog, the water began to glow as if an endless number of fireflies were dancing under the surface. Suddenly, they heard strange sounds like moans and screams. The tension in the air made me cough and choke from the heaviness. Then, as they approached the bizarre island, they saw the vast ruins of old temples and abandoned cities. In this place, where time has lost its meaning, they discovered ancient scrolls and mysterious artifacts, which caused them to have a whole cascade of forgotten mystical legends and prophecies. Now, the ocean and the island promise endless mysteries and dangers that will meet Jack the Ripper and his incredibly brave team. Captain Jack the Ripper and his crew remained on the island, engrossed in the mysterious mysteries they had discovered. They traveled to the depths of the island, spent days and nights trying to unravel its secrets, exploring abandoned temples and studying ancient scrolls, trying to uncover their hidden meaning. As a result of their efforts, they stumbled upon an ancient legend about a lost god who was exiled to this island thousands of years ago. This god was stripped of his power and condemned to an eternal existence in isolation. He became the source of all the mysterious events and unexplained phenomena that haunted everyone who dared to enter this island. Captain Jack and his crew realized that their journey was destined to break the curse, form an alliance with this god and open his scarecrow's eyes to goodness and order, to free him from the burden of eternal condemnation. They decided to help this god and regain his freedom, no matter what the cost. Their last daring action allowed them to break the curse, and they enlightened the creature about freedom and nobility. Finally, the dark shadows that covered the island disappeared, and God thanked them with his blessings. In gratitude for their valiant deeds, God gave them a powerful treasure that carried the power of transformation and could change destinies. Captain Jack the Ripper and his crew returned to their ship, knowing that their lives had changed forever after this journey. The story of their daring adventures and extraordinary discoveries has become a legend that has been passed down from generation to generation. For centuries they have lived on their ship, traveling the seas and experiencing incredible adventures that can change the course of history.